Okay. So with that, it's on right now? Can you believe I have to lower the mic?
All right, we are now joined by the SpeedyCash.com 250 winner, Carson Hocevar, driver of the number 77 Chevrolet for Spire Motorsports. We're just going to open it up right away for questions. State your name and affiliation, please. Let's start with Bob.
Bob Pockris, Fox Sports. With the loose wheel, did that limit you any iota?
I felt like it was limiting me, unless they're like, oh, it was tight, which they probably are going to be, and I was just seeing ghost. But no, I felt like on the restarts, I kind of forgot about it. I mean, I still had my hands full for whatever reason. I was loose, but no, I thought we're still just as strong on restarts.
And having won the Cup race last weekend, do you come into this one in those final laps and think, I'm supposed to win this now?
Yeah, I mean, I was just having I was having so much fun out there. Yeah, I mean that's why I remind myself why we do these truck races is Sundays is what's tough and where we're judged and where all of us make our money, and this is just for fun, and we get just to enjoy and remind ourselves that racing is the passion we all get to enjoy. So under caution, I'm messing around, I'm pointing at fans and waving at them, and people are running me down and I'm waving at them, and I'm giving them thumbs up, and I was just if there's ever been an embodiment of a race that what it looks like me on iRacing, I felt like was this race. I was just having such a fun time, and I'm joking with Tyler, even like on the green white checkered on the front row, and yeah, I mean ultimately, I think we are supposed to win this race for sure, but at the same time, I'm not gonna cry myself to sleep tonight if we don't. I might cry myself to sleep if we don't win Sunday for sure, but and think worse of myself, but these truck races, I just hope it's a really, really fun race and I get to enjoy it. And, if I make 1,000 moves, I might make one wrong, but I'm just glad I made 1,000 moves. And rather than just sitting out there running laps and running qualifying laps all by myself, I can go test anytime. Well, not in NASCAR, but.
Stay in the middle.
Dustin Albino, J-Ski. Carson, between Sunday and tonight, what has this week been like for you?
It's been just a lot of fun. I just, I walk a lot lighter, just ultimately, my life's a lot different. I look at myself a lot different. I judge myself a lot differently. And, but at the same time, this means a lot to me too, because I think the heroes that I grew up watching, they just win everything, whether it's, obviously we had a bad pit stop and I was hard on them, and I feel really bad how badly I ridiculed them on the radio, and I definitely owe them one. But like ultimately, I just enjoy every little bit of this. But like there is no excuse of the truck being slow. There's no excuse of bad restart choice or you didn't get a push or you didn't get there is no excuse. If you're a hero, you should take whatever they give you and win with it. So this, definitely means a lot, especially to, we've come close a lot, like Daytona and Darlington. There's a handful of truck races, just pretty much name all of them, but Rockingham, that we were up front and, had a shot to win, and it just didn't work out for whatever reason.
Over here to Jeff.
You hopped out of the car again with the burnout. So are you thinking like now you have to do this every time or some form of that every time? What was going through your head on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I figured. So I've been thinking about it, and I was like, man, I'm gonna have to do this every time, and I'm all in on doing it, on Sundays, and I'm all in until I catch whatever they throw at me, and then I'm done with it, and because it's not finished, and I think that would just be super fun because I just feel like it's unfinished of that almost opportunity of doing it for me. But I was sitting there in the truck like halfway through the race, and I was like looking around, and I was like, I don't even think I could pull this off because the leg boards are tighter, the dash is a lot lower, there's just a lot more stuff in there. The Cup car is pretty open. I was like, I don't think there's a shot I can do this, and I wasn't going to do it. but then we won. I'm doing burnouts, and I was just like, all right, let's see. Let me just try and half climb out while I'm doing this, and let's see. I'm not gonna do the whole ordeal, but um, let me just get on the door because it's so fresh that I feel like I would have disappointed people if I didn't at least do something remotely, you know, to that nature. So I felt like that was a good truck orientation of it. Yeah, I'll do it till I catch the beer. Oh shit. just just one person with good aim. Just one person. But I mean it's better that like I was looking because there was one that nailed the front of the car and I was looking down at Talladega. So I'm glad that guy had bad aim because that would have rocked me. So yeah, I mean I'm all good with it. Throw whatever you want. I'm prepared for it this time. I'll be prepared for it. I'm gonna try not to, dodge. But I mean, if you're, at least, be creative about it. Don't line up and do a chant, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and throw it all at the same time like it's ring toss at the, carnival when you just throw the barrels and everything. I would hope we were at least a little coordinated here.
We'll go over to the right.
Jerry Jordan, kicking the tires.net. On the final restart there, did you see anything that was going on behind you or
When they were like 3 wide and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was enjoying it. I was looking at the jumbotron down the back stretch, like in through 1 and 2. I just kept looking at the jumbotron, and watching the race. That's why I started laughing because I saw Kyle pass them all, and I was like, that would be 1-2.
So you said you thought you should win the race. It's a bold statement with Kyle Busch coming up your butt.
Yeah.
On the front stretch there. What?
Yeah.
Were you worried about that?
Nah, same equipment, and he got one at Atlanta, so it was about time I got one on him.
We'll go across the row. Eric, you step out of the groove.
Kyle Busch, you guys have finished 1-2 twice in the truck series. You've each gotten a win now. So, we've kind of heard recently his side of y'all's relationship. What's your relationship like with Kyle Busch?
I've never hated him more since Richmond '08, but he ran a lot of late model races at Berlin, so I got over it really quickly. Being the junior fan I was, and yeah, no, I mean I'm good with him. Like he's fine. He obviously runs our stuff, and I was talking to him. I like to give him a hard time a little bit here and there, so hopefully I can give him a little bit more of a hard time. But at the same time, I can't give him too hard of time. He's just gonna say he's won 1,000 of these basically. So I got a little bit more winning to do.
We'll stay back there.
John Deville, NASCAR Roundtable. During the race, you had that issue on pit road, and I mean, you were driven. Just kind of talk about coming back from that and your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there shouldn't be excuse in this series. When Cup guys run down here, even if you have a bad pit stop, you should be good enough to kind of pick them back up and carry them back to the finish if they had a rough day. And yeah, I mean, there's gonna be days where I'm gonna mess it up, and I still feel bad. So in victory lane, I was like, hey, if you want to say I suck and every little bit of word if I make a mistake, please feel free, because obviously I'm pretty hard on them. But yeah, they when they're on, they're on. So I know Darlington we had a struggle, but when it came to that last stop, they nailed it. So they have. They don't make a living doing 5 lugs anymore, so I can't be too hard on them.
Right up front.
Sarah Talker, Total Effects Sports. Your final 20-lap segment was consistently about roughly 0.2 quicker than the trucks chasing you. What in-race adjustment, either chassis or air pressure related, proved to be the turning point in stabilizing the truck during the
Shit, if I give that away, everybody else is gonna do it. No, I mean our stuff was good. I was just trying to run as wide open as I could, and it didn't matter if I was fast. I just wanted to make sure the guys behind me were slower. So I was just trying to just be unpredictable.
Any other questions for Carson? We'll go to Bob, then Lee.
You've obviously done a lot of things this week, tried to enjoy and soak everything in. Has anybody had to tell you, hey, you need to start to get ready for Texas?
No, I think they know we well enough that number one, I don't drink, so they don't got to worry about me being hungover walking into the track. So they were all good there. But, no, I don't know. They know that racing means the most to me, and I'm never going to throw away a race. My head. I'm tall enough, Bob, and uncoordinated enough. My head can't get too big, otherwise I can't walk. So, I think I'm doing okay right now.
Lee?
Yes, this week said when you first came into the sport that you would race with him and put your car in places where he didn't think you could survive, but you did. And, he quickly gained respect for you. You feel like that's just innate? Is that a gift that you have? Because to have somebody like Hamlin, handing out props like that, he doesn't do it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot for sure. He texted me, and he came up to me at Kansas too. So he's been a very big supporter as of late, which is very nice of him. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it just comes down to I put myself in a lot of those same spots and wrecked a lot. Eventually, you just figure it out how to hold on to it, what everything's supposed to be like. You're not as green, you're not as tense while doing it, and you know where the limit is on everything. So I think that's just a product of what you're seeing is. I've just wrecked enough already that I think I have a good idea of where I'm at, especially right now.
Stay in the middle.
Hey, Carson. Dalton Hopkins with the front stretch. You said on the radio mid-race that it was under a caution, you looked in the stands and you saw a guy with his shirt on and you both pointed at each other and you had that moment. Do you look in the stands when you're under a caution?
Yeah, normally. That's why I did like the burnout in turn one. I was just looking around and I was like, damn, these guys, been sitting out here all night and they probably don't ever get a burnout over here. I was like, so that's why I went over there right away, the Speedway Club and everything. And so hopefully they were all appreciative of that, I just wanted to do at least a burnout for those folks that probably would have went home, right away as I started doing the burnout down the front stretch. So, yeah, I mean, most of the time on Sundays, I don't look out too often and lock in like that and mess around. But, here I get to enjoy that and, really look out. And, I was laughing, pointing at people, waving at them. I was just being a fool a little bit, but I was enjoying every second of it.
Along those lines, I mean, there was a time, I think around last year, a couple of years now, you were sort of wearing the black hat. Not literally, I know you are right now, but you're sort of wearing the black hat in the sport. You kind of had some fans that liked you, but some fans didn't. Are you surprised by the outpouring positivity that comes out of the fans this last week?
I am. Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked and humbled and every adjective that sounds good from a PR person, I guess. But no, it does mean a lot. I don't know why I was a Dale Jr. fan. I don't think any race fan could tell you exactly why they're a fan. But there's one moment at some point during the race or some moment they remember, or some way they felt while that move was happening or that finish happened or whatever, and you just lock in on that guy. And so it means a lot that whatever moment I've been doing lately that has made some fans or just at least get excited and cheer, that means a lot to me. I don't truthfully care if that grandstand is full of 77 shirts or not. I just want it to be full, honestly. So whether that's them loving or hating me to show up, that I'm doing something.
Any final questions? We'll go to Matt.
Matt Weaver, Motorsport, stepping in late. So if this has been addressed, we can just kick the can down the road. But I am so confused by your and Kyle Busch's relationship in the sense that you two talk about how much respect you have for each other. Kyle goes on a podcast, a TV show, and says that you're on the list, and it seems like you guys race really well together. And I don't know what the internal Truck Series Spire communications are like, but what is your relationship with Kyle?
It's been fine. He has that moment in late models when I put him in the fence that he doesn't like. And I have Richmond 2008 as a junior fan. So we're 1 for 1 on moves we don't like from each other. So, but no, I mean, when we're wearing Spire for sure, we have respect, and I think I have all the respect for him on how good he is, obviously, and the more we run up front and win, hopefully, it's repaid, and we just race each other, and I don't know, I enjoy racing with him a lot. We were joking around pre-race. So, I mean, whatever you want to say, but most relationships are.
We'll come back over to Jeff.
Yeah, I didn't realize until this week that you're really doing all the posting on every platform yourself. Why are you so committed to, why don't you just like hire somebody and have them post for you? Do you do every single platform conceivable all by yourself?
Well, I mean, ultimately, if they did post and then I look at it, I'm like, well, I wouldn't have said that. Or, man, thanks for making me look like I'm a freaking Disney cartoon, the way you're making me talk or whatever. But, I like to be me and say what I want to say, race how I want to race and everything. So it would be a complete 180 of who I am to, number one, do that. But, I think it stems also, too, from, where I grew up. My dad does gold and silver and jewelry and everything. And, eventually, not everything that comes in the store is their late grandmother or late grandfather or great great grandfather. And, they really need the cash and everything. Eventually, they're feeding you a story. And, he's always said to me that, he makes his living feeding through people's, BS. And, ultimately, especially into now, today, and like, I don't think any of us like seeing ads, and we pay to avoid ads. So, if I'm posting that and, not being me, and you don't know that, I'm no different than what I hate or dislike about everything. So, yeah, I just, every single platform, it's me. Like, I'm writing it, bad grammar, misspellings, the whole deal. Every photo that's picked, it's all for me.
Any final questions? All right. Congratulations, Carson.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.